Hello. Today's episode number 40 of the Professor Slots podcast discusses slot manufacturer Scientific Games Corporation. Plus, in this episode, I'll be covering the current state of slot machine casino gambling in the great U.S. states of Arkansas and California. Thank you for joining me for the Professor Slots podcast show. I'm John Friedel, and this is a podcast about slot machine casino gambling. It is where I provide knowledge, insights, and tools for helping you improve your slot machine gambling performance.
John Friedel from the Professor Slots blog reveals all his tips and tricks for thriving in the casino environment. Choose winning slot machines and identify your gambling goals. Being entertained, earning comps, winning take-home cash, or combining them. John has won 90 taxable jackpots and a luxury car in 9 months of slot play and made a profit at slots gambling since 2013.
In case you missed it, on last week's episode, I went over slot manufacturer IGT as the first part of my two-part review of the gaming industry world leaders in manufacturing slot machines and other gambling products at casinos, online, and perhaps even at a convenience store near you that sells lottery tickets. Also last week, I reviewed American Samoa and Arizona slot machine casino gambling 2018. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last podcast as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Before I get started with the first part of the show, I want to apologize. I do have a cold. Hopefully it will proceed well here. Let's get started with the first segment of the show. Slot manufacturer SGC. Slot machine manufacturer Scientific Games Corporation, or SGC, with stock ticker symbol SGMS, filed their annual report with the SEC on March 1st, 2018. For many of their mutual business segments, previously reviewed IGT plc has SGC as its primary competitor. Being a slot machine equipment, game, and casino software manufacturer, SGC is well placed to be a primary competitor of IGT plc, as well as the other less prominent slot machine manufacturers. This is a review of Scientific Games Corporation's annual report to the SEC, filed in early March 2018. It includes a few details of the financial performance of SGC, but more importantly examines SGC's own best judgments of risk factors, as well as their forward-looking statements. Reviewing the second world-class slots manufacturer in addition to IGT plc is advisable as it is effectively providing a second opinion of the current state of the gaming industry. As usual, knowing the major risks and potential trends within the gaming industry from the point of view of a primary slots manufacturer provides you and me with another rare glimpse into the future of slot machine gambling in the U.S. and elsewhere. This episode segment has the following subsections. 1. An introduction. 2. Overall risk factors for SGC. 3. An overview of slots manufacturer SGC. 4. The gaming business segment. 5. The lottery business segment. 6. The interactive business segment. And 7. A summary. Regarding overall risk factors for SGC, each year around early March, slots manufacturer Scientific Games Corporation files their annual financial report with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, or SEC. SGC is a U.S.-based company, so their annual report is a Form 10-Q. I mentioned this Form ID so you know what to look for on the SEC website itself, where a great many other forms are required to be filed for various reasons over any given year. More conveniently, however, SGC has an annual reports tab on their company's investors webpage where such reports are quite easy to find and download. The 2018 Form 10-Q for SGC is a 161-page long annual report for 2017 filed on March 1st, 2018. As usual, it has quite a bit of tabulated financial data, but again, a strict financial analysis is not the focus of this podcast episode. I do focus on SGC's best interpretations of risk factors and so-called forward-looking statements. These are the best thoughts of gaming experts, freely available to all, regarding their overall corporate position within the gaming industry markets of interest to them. The risk factors section of SGC's annual financial report is 22 pages long. Just at a high-level overview of what the risk topics are, here are a few of them. They talk about operating in a highly competitive industry. They talk about unfavorable U.S. and international economic conditions. They talk about the changes in the replacement cycle of gaming machines, ownership changes and consolidation within the gaming industry. They talk about opponents attempting to curtail legalized gambling. They talk about changing technology and the evolution of industry standards. There is a potential to fail to succeed at ongoing research and development activities. They worry about responsiveness to customer demand for creating appealing products. They wonder about any adverse impact of strict government regulations. And they wonder about the legislative interpretation of sports wagering activities, as do we all. Other things they worry about is a failure in their efforts to maintain intellectual property protections, and a lack of a shift towards regulated online gaming. We all assume that it will, but does it? Will it? There's also a lack of being able to capitalize on a shift towards regulated online gaming. As you can see, there's several risk factors about online gaming here. They worry about maintaining good business relationships with key suppliers. They worry about obtaining and renewing customers, particularly in the long-term lottery contracts. They worry about maintaining security and integrity of their intellectual technology systems, and a possible failure to maintain internal control of financial reporting systems, as with many businesses. They have concerns about an inability to complete mergers and acquisitions, and unanticipated restructuring costs for prior mergers and acquisitions. They have concerns about risks having to do with periodic operating results being due to seasonality, and a dependence upon the business performance of suppliers and vendors. There's legal risks due to foreign operations, and they have some concern about the relationship between the European Union and the UK, that is to say, Brexit. They worry about substantial changes in tax law between the US and internationally. They worry about their dependence on key employees and their costs associated with potential violations of environmental laws. They worry about the cost of litigation and substantial damages that might be due to failure to meet their contractual obligations. There's also liability for product defects or other product claims, and the costs associated with labor disputes. Each of these general risk topics is provided in the annual report along with a 1 to 3 paragraph description of each. There is also another 3 pages of risk factors associated with SGC's capital structure, including indebtedness and operating cash flows. You might say that's fairly uninteresting, but please understand, if that goes poorly, then this company goes into bankruptcy, and that will matter to you. For you and I as slots enthusiasts, what does all this mean? It means that being a slot machine manufacturer is a risky business. And while SGC is working hard to keep us entertained, they may not succeed. If any few of these risk factors turn into reality, we may be, disappointed. Also worth noting is how unavoidable some of these risk factors are. By unavoidable, I mean most or all of these risk factors apply to the entire gaming industry. If they do occur, that is, they'll most likely occur for all of the slot machine manufacturers. In turn, that means risks for slot machine manufacturers are also risks to our being as entertained as we'd like to be over the next year or so. I suggest we wish them well. Next up is my overview of Scientific Games Corporation. Scientific Games Corporation was incorporated in Delaware in 1984. The company headquarters are located in Las Vegas. There are additional facilities located in Chicago, Georgia, and India. As of the end of 2017, it had over 8,600 employees. with 4,600 employed in the U.S. and another 4,000 employees working abroad. Total assets are $7.7 billion, roughly half of the total assets of slot manufacturer International Gaming Technology plc. Overall, SGC brands itself as, quote, a leading developer of technology-based products and services and associated content for the worldwide gaming, lottery, and interactive gaming industries, end quote. SGC has gaming, lottery, and interactive business segments. Interactive means online gaming. They have spent between $180 million and $200 million per year over the last 3 years in research and development activities in these three business segments. Their game development studios are in Las Vegas, Sydney in Australia, Manchester in England, and several cities in India. Much of their lottery research and development team is located in Alpharetta, Georgia, and their interactive personnel are spread across Chicago, Cedar Falls in Iowa, Austin, Texas, and Tel Aviv in Israel. SGC is organized into three business segments, which I will review individually in the coming sections. 1. Gaming, 2. Lottery, and 3. Interactive. Regarding the gaming business segment, in the gaming section of the 2018 annual financial report, Scientific Games Corporation points out the international gaming industry is distinguished by the ongoing and diverse development of new technologies, products, and game themes. SGC's gaming products can be found in all U.S. gaming jurisdictions. That is to say, they can be found in all U.S. states, territories, and federal district that regulates gambling. They are also located in 176 international gaming jurisdictions. Growth in the gaming business segment is driven by the opening of new casinos and the expansion of existing casinos. Further, gaming industry growth is driven by the rate at which slot machines are replaced by casino operators. Both are a consequence of the economic conditions of casino operators impacted by any changes in the availability of player disposable incomes. That's the money you've set aside for gambling, by the way. A significant portion of SGC's gaming business is from sports betting contracts with two large bookmakers located in the UK. Scientific Games Corporation states that they have 8 primary competitors within the gaming business segment. Yes, you heard that correctly. Their primary competitors are all 8 other slot machine manufacturers in the gaming industry. This includes IGT. How is this possible? Well, it's possible for 2 reasons. For one, it truly is a highly competitive industry during a time of dynamic change in the gaming industry. For another, their competitors are roughly the same size corporation as SGC, or, like IGT, quite a bit larger. SGC goes on to mention that the casino management system market is also highly competitive. For this submarket in the gaming industry, their primary competitors are only Aristocrat, IGT, and Konami. Unlike IGT's annual report, with its 2 revealing paragraphs detailing the features of their casino management systems, SGC does not provide any details. That lack of detail is interesting, and itself a bit revealing, given they mention their 3 competitors. If SGC truly is competitive with IGT in the casino management system market, then most of what IGT says about their features of their systems are likely also available from SGC. I'm not trying to actively convince anyone that my winning slot strategies are based on this technology. No, what I'm interested in here is what more Aristocrat and Konami might reveal in their own financial reports regarding the casino management systems. Frankly, I don't know if you'd be interested in more such blog articles on the annual reports of other slots manufacturers. But yes, I do indeed claim such information is the basis of winning at slot machines. Tell you what, how about I go read those annual reports and let you know if I learn anything more about how to win at playing slot machines? Would that be a fair compromise? Okay, that sounds like a deal to me. Next up is a lottery business segment. Scientific Games Corporation claims there are currently about 180 lotteries worldwide. These include draw lottery games and instant lottery games. Overall, there are 46 U.S. gaming jurisdictions offering draw lotteries and 33 U.S. gaming jurisdictions offering instant lotteries. SGC has 10-year to 25-year lottery contracts with Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. They also have 2 additional lottery contracts with the UK and Italy. Both the draw lottery and instant lottery markets are highly competitive, including an ongoing price-based competition. Primary draw lottery competitors are IGT, Interlot SA, and Tattersales Group. Primary instant lottery competitors are IGT and Pollard Banknote Limited. If you happen to play the lottery in any of these 4 U.S. states, or in either the UK or Italy, this intense competition means you're located in the right places to benefit from it. For the rest of us, however, we're just going to have to buy a lottery ticket when we are in the area. As I think we all know, recently there was a $1.6 billion jackpot won by a single ticket in South Carolina in the United States. That Mega Millions jackpot was not part of the lottery systems for which SGC has contracts. That's just not a state that they have a contract with for lottery. That means we won't see a financial dip in the performance of SGC this year. Next up is the Interactive Business segment. Scientific Games Corporation Interactive Business segment includes social gaming and interactive real money gaming. Social gaming is a non-wagering activity, as real money can be spent, but not won. Only in-game money, not real money, can be won in social games. SGC's Interactive Business segment concentrates the operation of their products and services on both mobile devices and desktop computers. Besides the difference between real money for interactive and in-game money for social, SGC doesn't seem to distinguish between the two in this annual financial report. I think they should distinguish between the 2 types of gaming. Yes, both are online, but it's not the same activity, not at all. As a slots player at a casino, would you equate a social game on Facebook to be the same as making a live bet? No, I think not. But would you equate online gambling with being much like playing slots at a casino? Yes, I believe you would. Social gaming is fun. Playing for real money is serious fun. My point here is I hope SGC understands this. I hope they understand that the same games being played for real money get a different response from players when it's instead of all just for fun. Put another way, a popular social game isn't necessarily popular when it's for real money gaming, and vice versa. In summary, Scientific Games Corporation is a U.S.-based company incorporated in 1984 and headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada. It has approximately 8,600 employees, up by 200 internationally based employees when compared to the prior year. SGC offers products and services in the highly competitive gaming industry business segments of gaming, lottery, and interactive. Risk factors in the gaming industry were shown to be extensive. If any of these significant risk factors were to actually occur, our entertainment as slots players would likely suffer. However, if the worst happens, luckily for us, our local casinos can fall back on the many competitors of SGC. Switching over to another slot manufacturer's machine would take time, so let's hope for the best for Scientific Games Corporation. Just in case, maybe you should check. Do you play SGC slot machines? SGC's logo is there on the corner of the pay table. If not, which company's slot machines do you play? IGT? Aristocrat? Konami? Let me know what you think of each. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is a second segment of the show on slot machine casino gambling. Here, I provide a brief overview of the current state of gambling in 2 U.S. states, territory, or federal district, emphasizing, by far, anything of interest to slot machine casino gamblers. Up first is Arkansas Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. Here goes. Arkansas Slot Machine Casino Gambling consists of 2 racinos offering skill-based slot machines alongside pari-mutuel wagering of horse and dog racing. These electronic games of skill are legally required to have a minimum payback return of 83%. Arkansas's 2 pari-mutuel racetracks are on opposite sides of the state, in Hot Springs and West Memphis. Electronic games offered include slot machines requiring skill, video poker, and video blackjack. The table games offered at both racinos are poker, Let It Ride, and 3-card poker. These skill-based slots are allowed by state law, but only if approved by local municipalities. With this style of slot machines, players are provided 2 opportunities to spin the wheels, where the player's skill is required when determining which and how many of the multiple reels are to be respun. The minimum gambling age in Arkansas depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos, it's 21. For poker rooms, it's 21. For bingo, it's 18. For the lottery, it's 18. And for pari-mutuel wagering, it's 18. The state legislation which permitted electronic gaming machines is called the Local Option Horse Racing and Greyhound Racing Electronic Games of Skill Act of 2005. Say that 3 times fast. Per this state law, all electronic games of skill are required to provide at least a minimum return of 83%. Up next is a usually short statement about slot machine private ownership, which I have included in case you live in this U.S. state and are considering owning a slot machine. Here it is. In Arkansas, all slot machines are legal to privately own, with the usual restriction that they cannot be used for gambling without a gambling license. Regarding the Gaming Control Board in Arkansas, the State Gaming Commission is a section established within the Arkansas Department of Finance and Administration, the DFA. This Electronic Games of Skill section is responsible for the overall compliance and regulatory processes for skill-based games in Arkansas, including, per their website, quote, development of rules and standards for operation of expanded gaming, employment of personnel to conduct the compliance and regulatory duties, oversight as to the proper operation of gaming devices, audit review of established procedures for daily gaming operations, and review calculation of proper state privilege fee as established by law, end quote. In this section, I discuss Arkansas gambling establishments. Arkansas's 2 racinos have more than 2,651 skill slots and gaming machines. These 2 racinos are on opposite sides of the state from each other. Arkansas has no other types of casinos besides these 2 racinos offering either greyhound and horse racing alongside skill-based slot machines. However, a casino gambling amendment effort is underway in Arkansas, where signatures are being gathered to put it on the ballot in November of 2018. Interestingly enough, there are actually 2 casino gambling amendments competing to be placed on the ballot. Both proposals include wagering on sporting events, which is currently prohibited by state legal statute. One proposed amendment is a repeat of an attempt by a Missouri group which failed to reach the ballot in 2016. At that time, it was supported by the Cherokee and Quapaw American Indian tribes of Oklahoma. However, these tribes are now backing the other casino gambling amendment proposal. The second proposed ballot supports the Southland and Oak Lawn Parks racinos, while allowing greater competition for 2 additional casinos, one each in Jefferson and Pope counties. As usual, the website links for each casino, assuming they have set up a website, is available by visiting professorslots.com/AR. With regards to non-tribal casinos in Arkansas, both of Arkansas's pari-mutuel wagering facilities with skill-based slot machines have a rich history going back over 100 years. The 2 pari-mutuel racetracks offering skill-based slots, along with their mid-2016 through mid-2017 payout return statistics as provided by American Casino Guide, Arkansas, are Oakland Park Racing and Gaming, located in Hot Springs, 60 miles southwest of Little Rock, offering horse racing. It has 1,290 gaming machines and is open until 3 a.m. nightly and 4 a.m. on weekends. It has an average annual payout return of 93.52%. The second casino is Southland Park Gaming and Racing, located in West Memphis, across the Mississippi River from Memphis, Tennessee. It offers 1,900 gaming machines and is open until 3 a.m. nightly and 4 a.m. on the weekends. Its average annual payout return is 93.00%. Oaklawn Park is located in western Arkansas near the border to Oklahoma. On their website, Oaklawn Park provides an updated list of their most popular slot machine game themes. Southland Park is located on the eastern Arkansas border near Tennessee. With regards to American Indian casinos in Arkansas, there are no tribal casinos in Arkansas. With regards to other gambling establishments in Arkansas, there is no state lottery available in Arkansas, which is prohibited by state law. Sports and games betting are currently banned by state legal statute. Betting via card games can result in fines not less than $10 and not more than $25. Otherwise, Arkansas does legally allow charitable bingo and raffles. The gaming regulations for these charitable activities were made legal via the Charitable Bingo and Raffles Act of 2007. As an alternative to enjoying Arkansas slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Arkansas is bordered by, to the north, Missouri, to the east, Mississippi and Tennessee, to the south, Louisiana, to the southwest, Texas, and to the west, Oklahoma. Each state-specific slot machine casino gambling article can be found by going to ProfessorSlots.com, followed by the two-letter abbreviation for each state mentioned. For example, my Oklahoma slots article is available at ProfessorSlots.com/OK. Okay? I imagine the residents of Oklahoma may be a bit weary of that joke. Sorry. Regarding payout returns in Arkansas, all electronic games of skill are legally required to provide at least a minimum return of 83%. No maximum payout return has been set. Publicly available payout returns for Arkansas casinos is limited to annual statistics for electronic gaming machines for each casino. For mid-2016 through mid-2017, actual payout returns were 93.52% for Oaklawn Park and 93.00% for Southland Park. In summary, Arkansas slot machine casino gambling consists of 2 casinos offering pari-mutuel wagering of horse and dog racing alongside skill-based slot machines. These electronic games of skill are legally required to have a minimum payout return of 83%. Arkansas's 2 pari-mutuel racetracks with skill-based slots are located on opposite sides of the state. Annual actual returns were 93.52% for Oaklawn Park and 93% for Southland Park. In the last year, the number of slot machines at Oaklawn Park increased from 1,150 to 1,290. At Southland Park, they increased from 1,501 to over 1,900. Like most others, both casinos continue to switch out older and underperforming slot machines for newer and hopefully higher-performing machines on a daily basis. These replacements include offering an overall greater portion of penny and progressive slots. If either of the 2 proposed casino gambling amendments are placed on the November 2018 ballot and subsequently approved by voters, substantial expanded gaming in Arkansas may well be seen over the next year. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Up next is a second state comprising this episode segment, California Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018. Here goes. California slot machine casino gambling consists of 66 American Indian casinos. Since these tribal casinos are located on reservations, they are generally found in out-of-the-way locations. Consequently, many include the amenity of a luxurious golf course. There are an additional 108 gambling establishments in California, including card rooms and pari-mutuel horse racing facilities, as well as off-track betting options. The tribal casinos in California were established through negotiated tribal state compacts, of which none have included any requirements regarding payout returns. The minimum gambling age in California depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos, it's either 18 or 21. For poker rooms, it's either 18 or 21. For bingo, it's 18. For the lottery, it's 18. And for pari-mutuel wagering, it's 18. The minimum gambling age for land-based casinos and poker rooms vary because it depends on whether or not the specific location serves alcohol. If it does, the minimum gambling age is 21. California has 61 federally recognized American Indian tribes having casinos, having successfully negotiated and currently have non-expired tribal state compacts. Regarding slot machine private ownership in California, personal ownership of slot machines 25 years or older is legal. Prior to 1984, gambling was unregulated in California. Now, it has tribal casinos, a lottery, legal card rooms, pari-mutuel racetracks, simulcast facilities, and bingo. These legal gambling options are regulated by the following state agencies: the California Gambling Control Commission for tribal casinos and card rooms, the California Horse Racing Board for pari-mutuel wagering horse racing and for simulcast facilities, and also the California Lottery Commission. Further, the Bureau of Gambling Control within California's Department of Justice provide the state law enforcement authority with special jurisdiction over gambling activities. California has 66 American Indian tribal casinos. Additionally, it also has 109 non-tribal casinos without slots, such as card rooms, pari-mutuel horse racing, and sites for off-track betting. The largest casino in California is the San Miguel Casino in Highland, having over 4,800 gaming machines and 125 table games. The second largest casino is Thunder Valley Casino in Lincoln, having over 3,100 gaming machines and 114 table games. All of California's casinos, of any variety, can be located on Google Maps, naturally enough, by searching Google with the keyword phrase California Casinos. For those interested in card table games, you can visit the California Gambling Control Commission for a map and list of those California card rooms. For those interested in horse racing, there is also a list and map of California pari-mutuel wagering racetracks, training facilities, and simulcast locations located on the California Horse Racing Board website. California's 66 tribal casinos are available on my state-specific blog article on California Slot Machine Casino Gambling 2018, available at professorslots.com/CA. California also has the state lottery as controlled by the California Lottery Commission. As an alternative to enjoying California slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. California is bordered by, to the north, Oregon, to the east, Nevada and Arizona, to the south, Mexico, and to the west, halfway across the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii. Each state-specific slot machine gambling article can be found by going to professorslots.com, followed by the two-letter abbreviation for each state mentioned. For example, my Oregon Slots article is available at professorslots.com/OR. On a side note, I don't have any slot machine casino gambling articles for international gaming jurisdictions. I only know a little bit about those in the Canadian provinces. It's something worth working on, yes? I honestly had considered going international eventually, but first I really need to dig deep into what the U.S. is doing, given how dynamic the whole gaming industry is right now. Regarding payout returns in California, California's tribal casinos were allowed through tribal state compacts. These negotiated compacts do not include a requirement for a minimum payout return on slot machines. Further, these compacts do not require that California tribes publicly report actual payout return statistics. In summary, California slot machine casino gambling includes the second largest number of casinos of any U.S. state, second only to Nevada. However, only 66 of its 174 gambling establishments are tribal casinos having electronic gaming machines, such as slots. As regulated by the tribal state compacts, American Indian tribes in California are not required to release their slot machines' payout percentages. Furthermore, no minimum payout return was established. 2 new casinos have been planned to open in 2018, Rain Rock Casino and Hard Rock Fire Mountain Casino. Rain Rock Casino has successfully opened and offers 349 slot machines. However, Hard Rock Fire Mountain Casino in Yuba County had construction halted in 2016 due to a court order. With the new partnership with Hard Rock International, an official announcement to begin construction again is expected relatively soon. In the last year, San Miguel Casino in Highland has grown from being the second largest casino in the state to the largest. At the same time, Pechanga Resort Casino has moved from the top position to no longer being within the top 2 largest casinos in California. Also, Rain Rock Casino successfully opened in early 2018 as planned, but the planned opening of Fire Mountain Casino in late 2018 has been moved to late 2019, as well as having its name updated to Hard Rock Fire Mountain Casino. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Once again, it's time for a quick programming update to give you an idea of what's coming next on the podcast. With episode number 40, my initial goal for my Professor Slots blog and podcast has finally been met. What I mean by this is that with this 40th podcast episode, I've covered all of the initial topics I wanted so urgently to convey to you about slot machine history, technology, and, of course, what I'd figured out from my own experiences about how to win. Almost all 40 episodes have been more or less lectures. I threw in a couple of casino trip reports and some anecdotal stories as learning experiences, but mostly I felt an urgency to tell you a bunch of stuff I'd learned about slot machines. Now, well, that's been accomplished. In the future, podcast episodes through number 40 will be referenced in future podcasts as they provide the deep understanding on various topics. They were designed to be so-called evergreen content, which means they'll be just as relevant and useful years from now as they are today. There will be some lecture-like segments, of course, about topics I'll continue to figure out for you about slot machines. But these presentations won't be as common as they've been. What will I be talking about instead, you ask? Well, it's always been my intent to treat this podcast like I'm teaching a class of college physics or a primary engineering course for undergraduates. Basically, that means there's lecture presentations, question and answer sessions, and of course applying those lessons with labs. Yes, I'd like to start answering your questions about anything related to slots. I'll start with a few email questions I've already received and answered by email, but I need your help to have more questions I can answer on the show. So, dear listener, what question do you have about slots? Let me know what you want to know by leaving a voicemail at 937-696-0086. You can also email me at john@professorslots.com. Both of these ways of contacting me is available at the bottom of any webpage at professorslots.com. So, as I said, lectures, Q&A sessions, and labs. For the labs, I'll be using Ohio casinos, or when I can travel a bit, casinos in those other states I travel to. Basically, this means I'll be providing more casino reports and various other reviews. These reviews will be of books, slot machines, casinos, what have you. The intent here is to add to my slots experiences by continuing to apply the principles I've been talking about over 40 podcast episodes. Who knows? Maybe I'll win another car. So there will be lots more casino trip reports, reviews of slot machine games, and whatever else I need to do to answer your burning questions about slot machines. This is going to be fun, I promise. Thanks for your indulgence and patience with this quick update. Now let's get on with closing out this episode. With regards to being interviewed, I've had a couple of requests. It's typically good form to mention the specifics of an interview only after it's been made available online. In fact, one has. Sarah Foss, a reporter for the Daily Gazette in Schenectady, New York, that's Western New York State, reached out to me with questions about whether or not slots players are truly interested in payout returns. This question arose because of a prominent billboard which had recently shown up by the Saratoga Casino Hotel stating that they had, quote, the loosest slots in the capital region, exclamation point, end quote. You can find this online article by visiting a simple link I've made available for you, namely professorslots.com/interview6, which will take you right to Ms. Foss's article. Part 1 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is not yet determined. Remember to send your questions to my voicemail at 937-696-0086 or by emailing your questions to john@professorslots.com, where John is spelled Jon. Or, alternatively, you can go to @ProfessorSlots on Twitter and direct message me. These are the 3 best ways to reach me with your questions. Part 2 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is more brief overviews of the current state of gambling in 2 U.S. states, territories, or federal district. Next time, I'll be talking to you about the great U.S. states of Colorado and Connecticut. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Show notes for this episode are now available within most podcast apps, but are also available on my website at professorslots.com/E40. I hope to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. I also really hope that I'm over this cold by then. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye.